Hey, go subscribe to Ravenous. Support him on Patreon. He has a thankless job.
Alright, finally time for some news again. It's been a long time coming, and I have to apologize for taking this long. On Tuesday around 2 PM my time, I got a phone call from someone I had interviewed for a couple of weeks ago, and they asked me if I could show up and help them out on Wednesday around noon. So I've been working full-time for them ever since. And that's the reason it's taken so long to edit those 16 hours of streams and some 260 screenshots into this 50-minute monster video that I likely would have gotten out sometime early Wednesday morning if it hadn't been for suddenly having an 8 hours a day job. So, if there are any mistakes in here, I can only apologize, as I probably won't be able to fix that in a while. Anyways, in this video we got to see Bryan finish rigging the Oviraptor and work on its run animation. We got a lot of good info from both Filipe and Paradym in Filipe's 11-hour marathon stream. Punchpacket posted Maggie's run animation in 2 flavors. Dondi tells us there's only one major bug left in the way of Avrima's release. And Bryan posted Oviraptor's run animation showing Oviraptor off in all of its colorful glory. Let's get to it.
if all dinos are going to be able to wallow in the mud, yeah, it's a generic feature. Should work for everyone. Some weird stuff going on here. Come on, buddy. Oh, what the hell? What happened? Okay, 0.3. 0.6. Oh, it was the fish. Yeah, interesting. Things breaks for no reason. Actually, there is a reason. It's just a little bit stressed, yeah. Some bugs are just annoying because there is no real reason. They just happen. I mean, on Friday, I changed some stuff about the collision. And it broke a lot of stuff that should not. I can revert, of course. I can go back to what I did. But I want to understand what the hell is going on here, why it's sinking. It should not sinking. There is no relationship between the two things. Oh my god. Yep. It just drops to the wait a second. Oh fuck this camera. Alright. It's not what I thought. Oh, Filipe. No, this is not going to delay the release. It's just me being, I don't know what I am, perfectionist maybe. Just some stuff on the collision for eating, swimming, dragging, drinking, wallowing are not accurate enough, so I wanna make it be perfect. Utah or Tenonto, which one wins? Tenonto wins. Easy. Yeah. Always depends the player skill, but Tenonto is strong. Really strong. Filipe, when the code release? Really? We have the date already. June 14, if everything goes okay. If not, June 20. If foliage have collision, not yet, but we are planning to have very nice collisions. Oh, alive babies. Yeah. We can do that. It's not difficult. The mechanic is almost the same for the dead ones. But allowing that brings a lot of problems on the gameplay and collision and stuff, so I don't know if you want to have that. The problem is that it seems after you run out of water, you start losing health. But if you drink the water, you don't stop losing health and you die. but I think I know why.
Are you just tired of being alone?
Hey man, yeah, kinda.
All by myself.
What are you doing?
I was gonna clip the hell out of that one. When was the last time you slept?
I paused the music. This morning. I mean,
I've forgotten what it's like to be free. You've kept me chained here in the code cave. When do I get to be free?
well, I had nothing to do this afternoon. I was going crazy. Oh my god, I need to do something.
Is that Para here? That is in fact Para you here. Who keeps track of what? Sleep or the code cave? In the code cave, there are no rules, but translate caffeine into code. Also, you don't have to tell us that Filipe can take a break because Kissin and I say the same shit to them too. You guys can rest. 4 a.m. build comes out. Oh, okay. Well, I know what Felipe's been doing. We've been trying to get Felipe's mic to be louder for like 6 months now.
It is still not loud enough.
Para, are the damage overlays on models going to be in the initial update? Are you referring to like the bloodiness when you are attacked as an animal? Is that what your question is? I mean, if you've noticed when Filipe has been doing feeding and stuff on stream, there's already overlays for blood on the mouth. I'm not quite certain how granular. Like, I know that a lot of people are really fixated on scarring for animals, but I would like to reserve the number of replication-related issues we create for our programmers right now to a minimal amount.
Well, those decals on specific parts of the bar are not difficult to do. It's more like what the material guys can do, like kick her up.
How am I today? I'm doing pretty well. I mean, it's pretty high levels of stress until this update comes out for I think everybody involved. And then we're gonna force them all to take a break. The current stam hunger water. Are you talking about the text that you see when he's in the editor? Because that's just there for debugging purposes. So he has the numerical values instead of our actual HUD in place. No, those icons are going to stay, although the oxygen one will likely change some. We'll see. They're working on that still. One of the hallmarks of our game is a pretty minimal UI, and I know that we want to keep it that way. As we add more features into the game, it is, possible that those things will change. We have some concepts of different UI changes. We've already said that there will be 2 playable dinos upon the release of Oviraptor, and Filipe very ambitiously states that it will only take him and Adam 1 to 2 weeks to get a new animal that is asset complete into the game. I tempered that with a 2 to 4 weeks so that we allow more time for testing and to give us a little bit of wiggle room. But part of why we did this entire foundational work is so that Filipe and Adam and the rest of our programmers could build this, these animal foundations for our carnivores and our herbivores that allow us to iterate animals that are asset complete quickly. So yes, in the initial release, you will only have 2 animals to play. That does not mean that it will only stay at 2 animals. The plan is to continue to cycle and fill back out the animal roster. And as we are looking at hiring another modeler and 2 additional programmers, the hope is that we will be able to, in the future, side by side, animal development with human development instead of having weird placeholder stuff that has kind of plagued the previous iterations of this game with less than efficient or scrupulous programmers on the team. So it will mean that we can continue to iterate more ambient animals, which are not playable, although we have an April Fool's joke that I really like, that you may see next year for ambient animals. But we have an amazing hard services modeler in Gabriel, so that means that more of the human environment stuff can start to be done. And our plans are to acquire 2 more programmers and an additional modeler to focus on human-based or humanoid-based customization, so that we can start slipstreaming side-by-side animal updates and people into the game, so we can start you know, really delivering on the complete experience. And we'll see more of that as we update the roadmaps in the future, so that you guys can see kind of where our targets are and what we're working on, and you know, whether we've actually touched something or not. I'm doing a video on the expectations some folks seem to have about the release and early being pushed back from the 14th of June to the 20th of June. Do I have anything I'd like to emphasize about this officially announced release window compared to the whole Valentine's debacle? Valentine's is gonna haunt me for years to come. Valentine's Day was not an official release date. It was an estimation given by Dawn before some things unfolded that were outside of our control. That we have made steps to minimize such things impacting our business. We would not have put out this release date, and I would not have put out this release date if we were not confident that we were going to hit this target week. Valentine's Day was a rough target date that Don had in his mind. That was the goal that Don had. Now, obviously, that was not what happened. It's just the way of the world. And I'd like to think that anybody who's seen how I handle communication with our community knows that I'm not going to put something out there if it's not a commitment we're going to stick to. To answer this question for the 8 millionth time, I do not share any information about Brandon that his family has not already shared. So I would suggest that you go scope out the GoFundMe, because his wife does a great job of posting weekly updates. Brandon is not a public relations piece for me to move around on a chessboard. He's a member of our family. And I've already had to deal with enough insinuations that even though everything that I have done has been to minimize that perception, people continue to believe that, and it infuriates me. Will animals have their collision disabled when they die to help with the carrying?
Depends the collision, not everything.
The collision will be different. Do not get... I'm going to say the same thing I say about anything that is like a time or numerical based value as far as like damage or how long something will persist. It would be foolish of me to tell you a time right now, because those values are always in flux as we dial in things for balance. So that is kind of a loaded question. Will replay in the game be fixed? I think we've covered replay about a half dozen times at this point, and that replay was kind of done as a flex feature by a programmer who is no longer with us. The most logical use of our time would be an integration of something like NVIDIA highlights, so that there are highlights-based events. Their intentions to open QA applications, that is a Jack question and not a me question. That is entirely in Hypno's hands. Contrary to popular belief, Don, Kissin, and I do not micromanage people on the team. We place them in charge of things and give them goals. And Jack has been exceptionally competent in running the QA team and in managing such a volume of dedicated people and getting them to work effectively and efficiently with the resources that he has at his disposal. And the QA team is, well, there's a reason that I'm going to be going out of my way to make sure that they get a special thanks from us. So I know that there is that Hypno has a long list of applicants. Where'd one go to apply for said prestigious QA? Hypno will announce when we're opening more QA applications.
The damage, yeah, the basic damage is not high, but we are balancing that. So
yeah, I'm gonna say this for the millionth time, and I'll probably continue to restate it, is that during this period, please do not fixate on damage values. It will allow us, we will be changing those values and balancing them on the fly to make sure that, you know, at the end of the day, you're playing a video game and you're having fun, and there is a competitive balance that matters. Everything you know about the game as it is, forget it. Animals have angular conservation of momentum, so they slide based on how heavy they are. So you'll notice that I've been talking a lot about the Utakio drift video that I really want to get out. I also want to see a similar for the Tenanto, although the Tenanto slides differently because it's a quadruped and not a biped. So it tends to come to a stop a little faster, even given its relative size difference between the Utah. Any chance of wakes and dinos having actually impact on the water moving through it? A lot of it has been doing, a lot of our stuff around water has been making it look good. Neither of us, I don't think any of us have really been particularly happy with the way waterfalls and things look. I will tell you that fluid simulation is one of the hardest things to get right in any game, and it's also very resource intensive. So animal-based wakes is probably going to have to be mostly shader-based, and Filipe can correct me if I am wrong. So I don't think that we will do full fluid sim on animals entering the water. That kind of thing has a place in a single-player game where you're not replicating that to 50+ people, or forcing 50+ people to have that happen on it.
We can try, but we need to see how the performance is gonna play on that. It's more like a performance problem, not a coding problem.
Replication. Yeah, the biggest thing that our focus is on is getting away from the rather clunky way a lot of things were done in the old code base. And I can tell you, and nobody in QA can tell you, but if they were able to tell you, they would answer that we have been very hyper focused on performance on the new map and how the game handles and performs on a variety of machines, and not just high-end developer machines. Part of the reason why the QA team is so large and covers such a wide range is that it gives us a lot of hardware profiles to work with. We will put out some guidelines regarding bug reporting and issue tracking. We'll probably have to open up a public issue tracker that you guys can submit to and that we can examine. That is, again, a Hypno question. I mean, we have some people on our QA team who are playing on toasters. Every animal is supposed to have a, quote, special, unquote, attack. Something that is unique to their playstyle. And in the future, they may even have more complex movesets, but, that's still in the air. And eventually you will see on the new website an About Us section, so it'll talk a little bit about each of the team members, and I am hoping to continue to get more dialogue opened up with Catbug to do stylized art of all of our team members. Catbug has been exceptionally busy though, so I have not been chasing Catbug down to try and commission that for us. Will the IO come on any other platforms after the recode? Who knows where the future will take us? I doubt that there will ever be cross-platform play if we ever go to another platform. And I do not see a mobile game in our future because that is really cash grabby and disgusting and probably wouldn't be doing our game any justice. Filipe is so quiet. Yep. Look, if we wanted to cash grab, there were a half dozen better ways to cash grab. Mobile games is not one of them. So I know what the state of nesting is. I can tell you that Adam spent a very long time making sure that nests wouldn't appear in places they didn't belong. We've talked a lot about multiple dinos per slot, or per account, but we don't really know where we're going with that yet. It is a very contentious topic because I don't know, there's a lot of avenue or potential for abuse. Will the price of the IO change after the release of Rima? I cannot comment on that, which you can read into as yes or no. I can tell you right now that until we get our roster until we get this update out, I don't really, while I look at the future, our first priority is getting this update to you guys. AI is the launch of Oviraptor. AI is not in a state that we're happy with, so very likely there will be some stopgap solutions implemented in the immediate updates after Oviraptor until we're happy with AI.
Maybe we could have these things here. Like
The basic AI that we currently have.
This little guy here, swimming.
The fishy boy.
Fish. I need fish.
Fishy. I love all of our new fish.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, that's a big boy.
Anyway, we could have fish. It's something that I was talking to Dondi today.
Yeah, he talked to me about this.
Yeah.
I don't want to dive too deep into this while you're on stream, but I support the course of action that you two discussed. I like the I mean, I've said this a bunch of times. I like the Utah. I really like the Hipsy. I like the Muskellunge a lot too. It's not a playable animal, but I like the fish.
We did in a way that people can be able to play as a fish if you want. It's basically.
I'm telling you that April Fool's idea is like the best thing that we should just do. Including Don's suggestion of like making sure that people know if they've gotten a dev or like a member of our team. No, the Pteranodon and Deinosuchus are not planned to come out in the Arima update. I have said in the past that because of the amount of work that has been done on them as base animals, it is likely, but not confirmed, they will be the other two animals released because Pteranodon has its own lovely mess of issues from a gameplay perspective in the current state of Oviraptor. Server stuff is on our list, but it's pretty low right now. Any other than animals, is there any features that are in the current release that the initial update won't have? Groups, nest, etc. That's a great question. I don't know that I want to answer it right now. I kind of want to wait until the content creators get to take a peek at things and break all of the things that our QA team hasn't managed to break. Subscribe to Ravenous, you rats. When are the content creators getting 14th to the 20th of the public? That is a great question. You'll find out when they do. Probably not until they release their. Can you possibly confirm or deny if elders are planned to be the same size as the average adult or not? Well, you'll be a Jedi amongst clone troopers deal. Maybe in the next 2 weeks I'll have some elder art to show you. Since we're refining some elder stuff as we speak. So follow up with me in like 2 weeks. Maybe not, actually. Don't follow up with me in 2 weeks because yeah, don't actually do that. Follow up with me after Arima lands. just follow up with me then. But not immediately because the week of Oviraptor is also the week of my 1 year anniversary with my wife. So when Oviraptor lands and I've done my job here, I'm gonna take a break. 2 weeks confirmed. Ravenous, I will drown you. I swear to God. Don't make me destroy you. We will probably update the recommended requirements for the 3 code after the last round of QA testing before the release updates. But who can say? Power groups of mercs going to be balanced, so when they come upon any dino, they can't just destroy it with guns. Well, guns are like ringing the dinner bell, 1. 2, small, fast-moving carnivores are going to make things very exciting for mercs in a very overgrown jungle environment. 2, go play Arma and try to coordinate a squad. The more people you add into a firefight or any kind of combat situation, the more hectic it becomes, unless they train and practice for it. Especially because of the fluid nature of combat in an environment like a jungle. So, the more people you add to your squad or whatever clan or group, whatever you're playing with, the greater the level of communication needs to be and the harder it is to execute upon. I don't underestimate the Chinese. We plan around them. I don't underestimate the Chinese. I don't underestimate the Russians. But we have people playing on our game on Phenom 2s, a processor that came out while I was still in high school, or shortly after I left high school. Yes, friendly fire is a thing for mercs. It needs to be a thing for mercs. No, we will be slipstreaming human elements into the maps once sections of the human environment stuff are done. So you will see things like the dock stuff. Once all of the new dock assets are done, there will be a docks area added into the map that will come in an update. And then as they continue to do more human environment stuff, those will be put out there. No, our plan at this time, please pay attention to the at this time. That caveat is really important, and it seems to get missed every time we talk. Is that our plan at this time is to complete a set of human environments and to have Gabriel build these environments to be modular so that we can reuse some of these assets, just like any major corporation that is doing prefabrication work is going to reuse some of these assets. Onto the stream about 20 that will be finished. We've been having some conversations about limiting the areas of the map in the initial release that you guys can wander around on. Why would a dino eat a human? Because they're tasty. And probably in some cases easier prey than an animal. Reserves for the I mean, Emily, how much input in the game you said you might give. I didn't say I might, I said I'd give all content creators access. We're not picking and choosing. That just sounds like a nightmare. I also don't want to listen to people go, my favorite streamer get picked for the game. They have the content creator tag. Why are you bullying me? You gave Anthomnia the game, but not Joe streamer number 12. Yeah, that just sounds like a nightmare. Hard pass. I hate Anthomnia. He clickbaits me, but I still watch 14 minutes of his videos. That's how it sounds to me every time I hear it. It's really hard to take people serious when they're like, I don't like this content creator. Then don't consume their content.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not that hard. It's not like Anthony is driven to your house and put a gun to your head like, you're gonna watch this video for 14 minutes. I'm gonna get my ad revenue. You'll probably get all the fight clips you want out of when we give content creators access. It is on my list. Filipe can tell you, I ask about it every week at our meetings. I think that the launch of the update is going to be chaotic, is really the kindest way to say it.
Yeah.
It's, I can imagine that Filipe and Adam are going to be very busy in that first week. Hot fixing and doing stuff. Are we prepared for the auto blow up and you guys not having enough server space? No. You want to know why? Because we prepared for the blow up. We're using a pretty much infinitely scalable server infrastructure. If we need to spin up more official servers, we can. That said, we likely won't spin up too many beyond what I think our tentative number right now is 10 additional to give communities the chance to continue to spin their stuff up. I have no plans to put down... I think that we will have a huge amount of returning players, and 10 is just a target number. If we see the need, here's the thing that I think that people miss out on what I'm saying here. We plan to spin up 10 additional official servers, and our infrastructure with Amazon is to the point that we can spin up more should we need to. But we also don't want to be the sole server provider for the Oviraptor update. I think that we are going to get slammed, and I think it's going to be rough, and I think the Discord's going to be a fucking nightmare. I didn't ask you. I forgot to ask you at the last meeting. How much of a pain in the ass do you think it's going to be to get like our basic, the last of the basic like server administration stuff slipstreamed in?
Depends. What do you want?
It's stuff like kick, ban.
Yeah.
I don't care about grow and stuff like that. Like
most of those commands are kind of easy to do. We just needed to create a basic solution that's gonna be the foundation to everything in the future about that. So that's the most important thing that may take some time to do right.
That week target is to give us buffer time. Officials will have chat. Maybe? I don't know. I don't really care. Our plan is to eventually move away from even needing official server admins that don't do anything other than ban hackers. Because hackers are just a fact of life in online games.
We can punish them hard.
Yeah, as I continue to work with Filipe, I'm slowly learning that Filipe is a bit of a sadist when it comes to hackers. So I'm super excited to see whatever, him and the rest of the team comes up with as far as, slam dunking on hackers. Yeah, it's an unavoidable fact of having an online game. It's going to happen.
It's impossible to avoid, but we can punish them and kick and stuff. I think that's how Call of Duty is handling them. Giving the hackers a bad time.
Yeah, Instagram does not have merch photos yet because we're not releasing merch. The last time I started showing off a ton of merch stuff, like, cash grab game. And I have more important things to spend my time on. What's my favorite part of the map? The subterranean part that none of you will get to see. I think that we'll be updating animals pretty quickly after the Oviraptor update lands. All damage is locational in Oviraptor. How powerful would a gun have to be to kill an apex? Guns are scary. 5.45 would probably do, and 5.56 would probably do a ton of damage to most animals. I mean, 50 BMG versus a Rex would be pretty gnarly for the Rex. Get a boys AT rifle. Yeah, it's not anything like the Isle besides being our code base from 2 years ago. I mean, like, guns are lethal. That's just like their inherent nature. It's the people using them and their skill with them is what's going to be the dependent, like the big qualifier here. Some of the carnivores in our game move very fucking fast and will pretty much, 1 to 2 hit most people. There's not a whole lot of recovery once a raptor's on you. You're done. Like, sorry. Tribals are hyper lethal. Very spooky. Don't get stepped on. Bad for you. Which question are you tired of hearing the most? Anything related to specific, or anything related to, actually, forget it. Here's the thing that annoys me the most. People asking for us to buff animals from the old game. It's like the feedback and suggestions channel gets filled with stuff like that, but none of those things are making it into the game in the state that they're in. So it's like, hey guys, here's your 1993, Honda Civic. Hey, now, I know you guys are working on a Veyron right now, but I see that you share 2 screws with this same, with the Veyron here that they buy in the Civic. Shut up. Mercs modified their weapons or I think you meant to say or other technologies. I like weapon customization because everybody's gonna have different wants or needs in the ergonomics or functionality from an aftermarket perspective on their rifles.
Hello, you still in here?
Hello. Yep.
You've been here all day.
Little bit.
Are you? I know you're not still streaming.
I am.
Streaming?
Yeah.
You're a crazy person.
Probably.
All right. Just hopping in here to see what's going on. I was like, there's no way.
I'm not streaming. Of course he's streaming. He's a madman.
Yeah, I just told him it's crazy.
Yeah, I need to fix this pause.
He was playing Seal, Kiss from a Rose earlier. It threw me off so much. I was like, where's this coming from?
Like, what elevator is descending around me? All right, well, I was just popping in here to see what you're up to, but I guess I'll let you finish doing what you're doing. I definitely didn't think that you would still be streaming.
I'm gonna go though. I just came into banter. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, that was an incredibly long video for the amount of free time I actually have nowadays, but now that I've finally more or less caught up again, I'm hoping it won't be as long of a wait between videos from here on. Before I go, I'd like to thank my Patreon supporters. Your support means the world to me, and I can't thank you enough. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.